coming up on this episode. And she would legitimately drop to her knees.
I want to spite the things that prevent me from talking.
Oh, God.
A skinny elf tinkers with the tables worth of flasks, bottles, and glass tubes, glimmering blue liquid filling each to varying degrees. The green metallic lines on his face betray his androphyn origin, as he seems to be distilling foundation down to a much darker, murkier liquid. After some time, he's managed to create 3 potion bottles worth of the darker foundation, which he promptly wraps and packs into a sack filled with spare weapons and armor. Just inside the southern edge of the mile-wide magical barrier, the party and Magnis prepared to follow Serra deeper into the metallic forest. After being warned of psychopomp activity in the area, the party headed down through the island's water to a massive dome of magic. Upon entering, they found 3 androids that appeared to be friendly, though their conversation was quickly cut short by 4 psychopomps there to kill the androids, one of which was found to be Varys, the missing Order of Ichor member Renister had been looking for. Once Varys and the rest of the psychopomps were defeated, Renister had a quick sending discussion with Lorik, updating him on the situation. We cut to just after that conversation, with Renister and Phosphorus re-entering the barrier. You come back through the barrier. Like I said, Serra will begin taking you past the big rock wall to their main settlement in the dome. She is also still under the impression that one of you is an android that can survive the hum to some degree, which is like half the truth.
Yeah.
Which, as long as I keep going with half-truths, I'm good.
You can go full lies.
I have a plus 15. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
At least if I lie about something,
you don't have to roll to just tell the truth, though.
He does.
Like, it doesn't mean it's a
at
roll.
this point, I feel like I have to prove myself.
Unsuccessfully try to tell the truth.
Yeah.
You do have to roll persuasion on stuff.
Well, yeah, but not everything. It's
I
like
know.
if like there's a bowl and it's black and you're like, this is a black bowl. It's not like you have to roll to convince someone that can see it.
I drain my chalice as we're walking. Where are we walking somewhere?
Yeah. Yeah, she can fly, but she assumes that none of you have innate ability to fly, so she would walk through with you.
I'm also going to take 2 elixirs.
Okay.
Does anyone else need healing?
I'm good. My tea's good enough.
Just to remind you guys are in a forest with everything having a very metallic look and feel, as described before.
Kelp forest or tree forest?
Tree forest.
Okay.
You guys are not underwater. Under this
yes.
dome is just like normal, whatever you want to call it.
Western European.
Yeah, think just like classic fantasy looking forest except metal. But yeah, so grass, color of iron, metallic sheen to it, a rigidness as you walk on it. Trees, steel bark, brass leaves, all sorts of flowers with all kinds of metal petals, gold, silver, all that kind of stuff. And that goes, there's about 100-foot grass clearing. That forest goes for about 400 feet. And then there's that just huge wall of rock. And you guys can just follow her to the wall. As you get close to the wall, she just kind of twists her hands and a 10-foot wide circle just like cuts out of the rock as the rock just kind of retreats into itself. She just walks through. You guys can follow. Looks on the other side is just more of this forest.
Did any of my detect magic about the forest itself or like the landscape? Any pings?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
And yeah, past the wall, like I said, is very similar looking metallic forest. Only just at a glance, there's no wall. So this one just stretches much further. There's every so often rolling hills and a grass clearing dotted about. At the base of this side of the wall that you kind of come through, a little to the right, there's just like a pile of well-kept equipment. Looks like pretty much everything that they would need. Spare armor, clothes, weapons, and a few full packs. Not really sure what's in the packs. But yeah.
Is there any like metallic creatures running around?
It does not look like it.
Little robo-possums or something?
It is worth noting none of you have clocked any fauna of any kind in here.
Is it like a thin wall?
It's about 10 feet thick.
Anything different about this forest? Feel? Magic-wise?
Feel-wise, no.
You just said we can't really see an end in sight?
Well, yeah, you guys aren't above the tree line, so you just see forest in front of you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Assumedly, well, I guess not assumedly, you guys can't see anything so high in the distance that would imply that there is another edge other than just the barrier's edge, if that makes sense.
Are there more than just the three of you here? I ask her.
Yeah, Sarah says, yes, there is now 14 of us. She says a little solemnly.
How many were there originally?
15.
Sorry to hear that.
Did the
It's okay.
Grimm's people cause that?
Yeah. Yes.
My condolences.
He has returned to the vault. We technically don't die. We can talk about it.
Well, we're also walking. Are we close?
No. Probably about an hour. Well, actually, let me double check that.
If I remember right, this was on the edge of the island, right? On the bottom edge?
Towards the northern. It's not like all the way up against the
part of me is
seawall,
like
but it
going
is on
through the
north
wall
side.
made me imagine like we'd fall off the island, but
No.
okay.
The wall
Flat earthers.
is in the dome. So in the whole underwater space, probably a good mile from the north edge of the island is this dome. So it's not like up against the edge of the island.
That's good to know.
Can I be like pacing this out as we walk?
What?
Like trying to figure out how long this is?
Yeah, for sure. Sorry. You guys would not need an hour. Your lowest speed is 25 feet, which covers 2 to 2.5 miles per hour. So we'll just call it 30 minutes is how much. No, because you don't have to go the whole way. I'm fucking dumb. It'd be like 15 minutes.
Is this look like the same size in the dome as it does out of the dome?
It would appear.
Okay.
Yes. You guys can see the edge of the dome.
Okay.
Because there's no, through the trees, you can just see the ceiling and it comes down. My point of bringing up that there's not another big rock wall was just that, like, this side of the wall appears to be completely, like, open.
Yeah.
In terms of there's no other, like, sectioned off area.
Sure.
But yeah, you guys can talk as you walk. What did she say?
She said he went to the vault, the 15th
She
one.
also said technically we can't die.
Is that
Yes.
true for all Endrofen?
Yes.
Is that like how that grim creature?
No, we are not.
It's not like a plane?
No. Well, it's plane sized. The vault is.
What does it look
But-
like?
Plane, everyone's speaking common, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
She says, I'm unsure what plane means in common. I know what plane means in Androphen. I believe the akin word would be planet in common. She says.
Oh.
Are we talking about the same thing?
No.
No.
Okay.
Planet.
Fascinating.
What do I know about planets?
I mean, you guys don't have to roll the like space and like the idea of a planet and like a circular floating rock in space is. You guys are all traveled enough. You would be aware that that is a thing. You like know that Aelios is a planet.
Okay.
You are not aware whether there is a connection or not. Planes, as far as you know, as like places with planar beings or I mean
They feel like dimensions more than
they are considered like other, I mean, as I said, other planes of existence, other a dimension is a good way to put it. But yeah.
So do Androphen, I mean, I don't know, I could be wrong. Is it similar to, say, if I were to be vanquished, my body would stay, but the deepest part of me would go elsewhere? Do the bodies of...
That's a good way to put it, yes. We are not alive in the same way you are alive. We are husks animated with soul. You are truly living.
Can you return from the vault?
The vault is a word you guys cannot speak. I'm sorry.
Can you
unable to be spoken by
Can you
guys.
return from your afterlife?
Or planet?
This planet.
It is not an afterlife. We cannot die.
I can't say the other term, so I'm using afterlife.
She would not have actually known that, so that's good. She would say, okay. Yes, we normally do. So
sorry to clarify that exact moment. She had some. You say she had some recognition that he couldn't speak that word?
Yes, she was not aware that was not something that could be spoken. It seemed like she was pretty aware before when she said the Four Lords stuff and Grimm that some of that would not be able to be spoken.
So she is aware there's some things we are not able to say.
Oh, for sure, 100%. Okay. She was just not aware that the vault in general might be one of those things. But yeah,
it'd be helpful if we all made a note.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Can't be spoken.
So, yeah, I will also keep track. So the vault is one of them.
So
Four Lords is another
Four Lords,
one.
Vault.
Sorry, she was explaining. It is. We are. It is a process we call reconstruction. So we are machine husks, animated through a crude form of soul called foundation. We existed long before mortals did. As I said, we are not alive in the same ways. When we die, before the hum, it was probably like falling asleep, she says, as she like relates it to something, because the Androphon don't sleep, to something that you guys might relate to. And then waking up back in the vault, reconstructed. By default, we are reconstructed as we were. It is the same husk remade, though you can change our husks. Now that the hum, House of Song, exists, it is again similar to falling asleep, but very painful, from what I understand. Are there, I guess, an important place to start, something to clarify? How much interaction have you had with my people?
I've interacted with some dead spirits.
Okay. Are we the first Androphon? Obviously, she points to Diego. Outside of Diego.
The first Androphon that know what you know.
Well, we all know.
No.
Well, we
true.
met. We met a handful, but we didn't have much time to talk to them.
Sorry. I have been here so long, I forgot there is a hierarchy. Some of us do not know the things that we know.
Yes, but we did know a single-digit unit that did not know.
What was their designation?
Umbra.
They're like me. I'm a Terra unit. They're a number unit, but we were made for Alios specifically.
How many designations are there? I know of Terra, Umbra, and Blade.
You have 3 of the 4.
What's the
last one is Mecha. They are our creators. Have you ran into any of those? She actually says with a lot of earnest, as if it's a very important thing.
Not that we're aware of.
Yeah, not that we know of.
What would they...
I'm going to say...
Would they look different?
Not particularly. We can change our husks if we have enough foundation. Normally that is done in...
But it wouldn't look like a generic robot-y look at all. That would just be an automaton. Correct?
No. Androphon and automatons are 2 very different things.
Gotcha.
Can we say Mecha?
Yeah, you can say the designations, yeah.
So say this one that we interacted with had no knowledge. Quite frankly, we had to teach it a lot of things. Is that infer that there is a new, and I use air quote like the finger thing, soul being created, or is this pulling a pre-existing soul from the place?
To be frank, it has been millions upon millions of hours since I have stepped foot out of this barrier. There are probably many things that have changed that mean the information I have cannot be counted on to be anywhere close to 100% true.
True.
My assumption would be one of 2 things. New Androphon have been made many a time. So that is a possibility that it was a new one. It also, I don't know what's going on. None of us have really fully understood what exactly the hum entails or is. That could also be doing something with them not being aware that they have lived a long life before whenever you found them. There are multiple things at play, too many unknowns for me to give you a straight answer. she says.
We have many, many more questions.
So many questions.
I imagine. But do you have any concern or questions about outside of this place since the hours you've been gone? We can certainly help give you some kind of information if
our scope is
what you're looking
limited,
for.
I will add.
Is there
Of course.
any sort of known group of us out there?
Not really, no.
Okay. That would
Yeah.
probably point to two things. She kind of talks it to herself, but also out loud, because you guys are like sharing information. The process of reconstruction is being disrupted, or the process itself is not being disrupted, but exiting the vault is being disrupted.
How do you get from there to Aelios?
A multitude of teleportation circles.
Okay. I didn't know if you dropped from the sky or...
No. We could. It would just take a very long time.
The other androids we've made, just to put some more pieces together here.
Just to clarify, androids, you are referring to us?
Correct.
The Androphan.
Yes, it's more
It's
of the
the
common
newer term.
nomenclature.
She would just nod. She just wanted to clarify
Yes.
to make sure you guys were talking about the same
The
thing.
only other ones we've really come into contact with were slightly being held captive by a madman using Foundation as the bargaining chip. So they were basically used as pawns.
Did we
you
know
need it?
that? He was using Foundation as a
Yeah.
bargaining chip?
Yes, because
Yeah.
he blew it up, and then they immediately turned on him, like once we kind of reasoned with him a bit.
Yeah, they also had a
But I thought that was
fleeting
because he was
moment.
dead.
That was part of it. They did have a fleeting
Sure.
moment where they talked to Renestier and Aemon. And you are guys, at least one of you is very intelligent, but most of you are intelligent enough to put together that that's probably what was going on. In Shintami's place was a thing that made Foundation. I don't know why you would need that unless you were supplying that to androids. And that's a very easy thing to... if they die if they don't get it. So
Yeah,
if
I
they're
didn't
not
know.
single
I didn't
digits.
know that was the implication. Is that specifically was what he was using to control? I thought he was just had a supply to feed them, but it could have been something else that he was using to control them.
Yeah, I guess you guys don't know that for sure, but they definitely
I think
didn't
in the context of them, like,
Yeah.
why would they be working with him otherwise?
they didn't really seem for him in a way that would imply that they were on the same side outside of being controlled.
Yeah,
they
I thought
literally turned on
there
him
was
as soon as he
also like
died.
some kind of mind control stuff going on.
that could be an option.
Yeah.
He was very proficient in
And with
mind
the-
control.
I just wanted
the
to clarify that
Butler.
out of game
Yeah.
because I didn't remember that at all.
Okay.
So
They just didn't. In when you two talked to them, Renester and Aemon, it didn't seem like that was the case, that they were
Right.
under the effects of those things.
but
and I
based
thought
off,
that was because he was dead.
That could be the case.
could be.
Could be the case.
I guess,
but
that's
they did
my
not bring up
understanding of it.
anything about being magically controlled.
Dude, I forget if we established or figured out, were they replacing pre-existing, what are they called? The secret police.
Kukari, one
Kukari.
of them.
Were they replacing them with androids, or were
No,
they like
all of them
basically
were
being-
flesh and blood people. Not all of them were humans, but
Because they kept saying like this one's complete or whatever. Like there was that list.
Mhm.
Was that like a mind control thing? I'm just trying to
Probably.
remember. Okay, I'm just trying to clarify the full context because it's been a minute since
the
season
more
2 stuff.
magically inclined of you, which I guess is everyone except Renestier.
Ha!
You guys are aware that there are specifically ritual magics, which Shintami was prominent in, that can, given enough time, basically rewrite a way a person thinks.
Gotcha. Or
So,
the thing that like made them die.
yeah, you probably added in that failsafe for
yeah.
sure. Sorry. But yeah.
Is the hum? What is the hum exactly?
Wait, just real quick. Before we went out of game,
Mhm.
it was Ren
explaining
and
to
that, explaining the mind control, or not the mind control, the
Group.
abuse and
androids?
control of the androids. So
Oh,
if she had
yeah,
something
yeah,
to say about that, she should say it.
because she was
Yeah, yeah,
asking
yeah.
about what groups.
Just
we
to
knew
continue
of.
the in-game conversation
yeah.
with the flow.
So the controlling through Foundation. She would just add, yes, those of us who are, well, technically there's only 40 of us that don't need an outside source of Foundation.
That's because 4 designations
4 designations.
of single digits.
You guys are aware that there are designations that don't relate to function.
Yeah.
Like they're probably just like lettered and numbered ones. That at least tells you that there are no single digits among them.
The single digit one that we met, it had no knowledge of pretty much anything. It learned a lot. But as we interacted with it more, it stated that it started hearing the voice of a woman speaking to it.
That would be Elsif. We have not heard her voice. We are free from it here. But she of the 4 was directly responsible for us.
What does she talk about?
Orders. There was not much conversation. It was normally not a back and forth, but a do this. Mecha Zero was our king, she says, clearly trying to find a word that is related to like something she feels like mortals would understand.
Mm-hmm.
What? So Elsif is one of the. Can I say 4 kings?
No. Anything close to relating to that wouldn't work. You already have.
Could say the group that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say you were gonna. I was gonna say you already referred to them as something, but I don't actually remember what you referred to them as.
Yeah. So Elsif is one of those that I can't say.
Yes.
Who are the other 2?
3.
We know.
No, we know
one.
One more. Grim.
No.
No.
Or they were working with him.
Grim
Oh.
Grim is an agent.
Oh, I see.
was made by the 4.
Oh.
Okay, yeah. My
Technically,
understanding mixed.
we all were.
Cross
But
that out. Where'd the pen go?
All of them. Sorry, you asked for all of them, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Elsif, Yalden, Manir, Uzek.
Do any of those ring any bells?
That is the sun and the 3 moons.
Oh.
So Elsif, Yalden, Minir. What was the last one?
Uzek. I would like to, as we're discussing this, do what the fuck is it called in this? Double speak?
Yeah.
I just don't want to say like thieves can't or something.
Yeah, it is double speak.
Double speak. And I would just kind of say to the party, should I tell her the truth about my android situation?
I was going to say, you can also not double speak about any of this as well. Like anything you can't normally talk about.
Oh,
also,
yeah.
I thought about that going in. I just wanted to clarify that. But yeah.
I would four lords.
No. Yeah.
I would just shrug.
I just nod and half shrug.
I just give like a very small shake.
Well, we're split.
And then
we got a yes, a no, and a maybe.
Sorry, can I stop everyone here for a second? I gotta use the bathroom real quick.
Why don't you roll deception?
Even if
No, he's in game. He decided.
He's gonna go shit out the arch door.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. You're not actually just stopping to go crap.
No.
Or be, yeah.
I'm gonna roll a coin.
Okay.
Use a coin.
Yeah,
He is a rat. He has a small bladder.
I have a big question for her when I get a chance.
Okay.
20.
Flat?
Yeah.
Okay. She wouldn't stop you, but all of you are aware she clearly clocks that that's just bullshit. And she looks a little confused.
I'm gonna veer off into the woods for a second.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast telepathy with. I'm gonna use my subtle or silent spell.
Okay.
I'm trying to hide I'm doing this.
Roll deception? Or is it stealth?
It might be stealth because it's stealth because I don't have to speak anymore.
Could I pick up
Let me double check on that.
that Peter or that Phosphorus is not telling the truth?
About I have to go to the bathroom? Yeah, for sure.
So could I assist
I haven't
in
seen
these
him pee
deception
in
rolls
years.
by creating conversation with her while it's happening?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Why don't you
'Cause
just roll
this
diplomacy
is an honest
to
question.
assist?
I would just ask it more earnestly and get her attention more, whatever Phosphorus is doing. 28.
28. Okay, cool. Plus 2 to your roll when you roll phosphorus.
I would just ask, you said, so
I can choose to gain the benefits of conceal spell, and I don't need to attempt a deception check because the spell has no verbal components.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So you do it.
forget that.
So,
Sick roll,
yeah,
though, dude.
yeah. So we're not doing
I'll still ask
we're
it
not
after.
doing the relay. Or if you guys want to speak, say it to me, and I'll say it to whoever we need to,
Okay.
and you all hear that in your heads.
Okay, Eamon asked a question though,
Yeah.
So you said you and others were designated specifically for Aelios.
We were made, yes.
Made for Aelios. Where else are you made for? If not the place you go when you die and here, are there others?
I mean that, sorry, to clarify, I mean that there are those of us that were around when Cosmos was around, and then that there are some of us that are around once the Four Lords were around. Cosmos is something you cannot say.
Yeah, what was that first thing you said?
What does that mean?
I should start at the beginning of everything.
I sit
I
down
am aware of.
cross-legged with
Can
my
you
notebook.
just give us a second while he goes pee, I guess?
Sure,
He'll want to hear this
sure.
as well, so I guess.
I wait like a minute and I come back.
Okay.
Toilet paper on his foot.
Okay, do you say something to
She
me?
earnestly looks to you and she says, "Are you okay?" A little concerned.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I thought he was gone already.
What do you mean?
I thought he had already left.
He came back.
You didn't talk?
No, in your head, you will then hear, like, I've cast telepathy.
So why... Should I do it or should I not?
I think we should hold off till we get a little more information.
I'm bad at this stuff anyway, so
I think right now, us being in her good favor is what's making her answer questions so honestly. But also, the further we get down this road, the less happy she's going to be about it.
Yes.
So
That's why I think if we do all cards on the table kind of thing,
do it now, but say it in a way that makes it still sound like you had a good reason for doing it, as opposed
Magnus-
to just lying for the sake of lying.
oh God, I forgot you're here.
Magnus would add in, he would say, I'm normally the one to say to keep things under wraps, but I do think we're treading territory where we're giving her as much truthful information as possible only benefits us in figuring things out.
that's a fair point.
All right, majority rules. Sorry, Phosphorus.
No, you're not.
You're
Okay.
about to explain more about the first thing you mentioned, though.
Sorry, before you get into that,
Yes. Do you also?
no, I do need to confess. I
Okay.
have not been 100% truthful with you.
Phosphorus did not actually go to the bathroom.
No.
He just cast telepathy so we could discuss something for a moment.
Ah.
I lied to you because we were in a very scary situation. Didn't know if you were going to kill us or not.
That makes sense. Historically, we have not been kind to mortals.
You're also quite
So-
the isolated group.
I do have my memory.
Okay. This is good. So you know why?
I am technically an android,
Okay.
but it's a recent development.
She just looks very confused.
I was not always an android. And I would show her the codex.
Okay. She would say that you do not know how wonderful that is. She looks to you just like the hugest weight has been lifted off her shoulders.
So
At this point, it doesn't matter how it functions in you. That was Mecha Zero's. It is the only way that I am aware of. Well, it's one of the two pieces that is required to make a key to the vault.
what's the other piece?
The apparatus. It's like a hammer.
As she's saying this, I'm just going to kind of
Sorry. She would not say it's a hammer. She would call it it's like a 6-inch adamantine rod, and then she would describe the symbols on it.
I will just like slowly pull it out of my coat.
She sees that, and she would legitimately drop to her knees. Of just like basically get weak in the knees and drop.
Well, that was a better
Yeah.
result than
Good
I was.
results.
Yeah.
Can I? Zig should take a look at them, if that is okay.
We don't know who that is, but
He is the closest thing to a mecha we have. He's not a mecha.
As long as you don't take it from us, kill us, or take this thing out of me because it will kill me.
Okay, we might be able to help with that. I'm not sure. I assume you have already looked at it to a high capacity.
Yes.
You would be a fool not to.
I keep getting a message in my head. Says,
It's not working.
yes, it says it's broken.
Okay.
Says something
Well,
about...
that's clearly broken. Can it not revert to its natural form? She says.
I didn't know how to natural form. I know we've got the fire one working.
That is good. We would need one of them working to fully repair it.
So, yeah.
Okay. Can we... Look, I know we were talking about a lot. Can we get there and figure this out? She just like points to the two things. I will tell you everything and anything and help you in any way I can.
Sure.
If
Can I
you
roll
can,
to see if she's being forthcoming?
I will roll secretly for all of you.
Also, did mess up. I was supposed to roll a stealth check. It doesn't matter. But I don't know if you want to do like a GM Jack thing for that. I could roll one quick, but it doesn't really matter.
We're acknowledging it now.
Can you do
so-
a live GM Jack?
Yeah. Hey guys.
Player Aaron here.
Yeah, I fucked that up.
My curse is happening because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did
yeah.
use vision of weakness. So my minor curse is happening just to make
Okay.
you. I don't know if that would change anything conversationally or not. But
I mean, she would have clearly clocked it, but like, you guys are clearly magic people capable of magic, and clearly she has some magic to her, so she's not like worried about it in any way. Sorry, I rolled. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy. The maybe internal emotional whiplash some of you might have gone through of like, I don't know how she's going to take us coming clean to you basically being the answer to her like prayers down to fucking having both of them. You know what I mean?
I'm used to it.
So, she seems very genuine in all of that. And like, yeah, it's kind of like you just saw someone have the greatest thing that's ever happened to them happen in front of your eyes. And two of you are like, well, one of you kind of is the thing, but,
I have that effect on women.
I
but yeah,
don't.
Really? I've only seen them run screaming.
Yes, it's usually the greatest thing when they leave my sight.
but yeah, I mean, by now you guys would have been moving at a decent pace, but is everyone okay if you guys hurry back?
I feel like
Yeah.
we'd be almost there already if it's like
Yeah.
a 15-minute
We've been
walk.
talking
We've been
for a
talking
while.
about 15 minutes.
Fair enough. So you guys come to so the forest. You guys walk for a while. Eventually, you guys can kind of see through. It opens up to a big clearing. There are several log cabins in this clearing, and it's up against a lake. However, at first it just looks like a really deep blue water lake. But on further inspection, you get a good look at it. It looks like a lake of foundation. It's probably close to about 500 feet in diameter, shimmering blue foundation. And yeah, like I said, on the technically it would be the south side because you guys entered this barrier on the south side.
What do I feel when I see that foundation? Do I feel hungry?
No, you do not feel hungry. Yeah,
Just
I mean,
earnestly responding, no, you do not feel hungry
yeah.
at all.
Other than any way you think Diego would feel, there is no new urges to consume it.
Okay.
But again, I say log cabins. They're metal logs, metallic looking logs, all that jazz. You can catch a couple, probably androids in Droffin in the village. In the center, there's kind of like there's not really a town square, but everything's built around like a central point, kind of close to the lake.
Does it look like something that could house more than 15 of them?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
It's like probably it looks like there might be a building for each of them.
Okay.
There's
And
probably
what,
like 15 total.
just for my brain, you said it's like iron-like metal, or is it different colors of metal? Just to give my brain a
Think of a
picture.
log cabin, but the logs look like they're made out of metal.
Yeah, but metal can be red,
I mean,
gray,
it varies.
Chrome,
Normally,
shiny.
silver.
normally it's a steel or iron looking thing.
Okay.
So like the grayish metals.
I was straight up thinking of like the future in SpongeBob where everything's
That's
chrome.
kind of.
Like,
I know that
that's
kind
literally all
of gets
it
my head
is.
too, and it's like ruining
Yeah.
it for me a little bit.
Cool. Well, let's just scrap it. You know what? Forget the androids. Forget the answers.
We're in SpongeBob now.
Yeah. But as I was saying, in the center of all these cabins, There are like multiple workstations set out. Probably good 10 Androphen in that center area appear to be just working on making on stuff. Everything from armor and clothing and more of those weapons you saw the other Androphen wield. There appears to be this, like, probably looks a little familiar to you, Phosphorus. Looks similar to like an alchemy station, but it looks like all that's being distilled is like foundation and stuff. There's a bunch of tubes and stuff with foundation in it and such. And as Serra approaches, you guys see a Androphen. Looks like a skinny elf, short white hair, wears a tool belt across his chest and waist, bulging green eyes, indented on the left side of his face. He's got metallic green lines. But he runs up and then stops for a second and like clocks all of you, and Serra just like gives a nod like it's okay, obviously. And then he runs up more. And he says, "Hello.
Hello there.
Outsiders, we haven't had those in a really long time.
Hi.
Hello, I'm Zig."
Diego.
Phosphorus.
Run the steer.
Amen.
Magnis says Magnis. And then he looks to you. He looks to you, Diego, and he's like,
She can probably explain.
"Okay." He looks to Serra. She explains quickly and briefly.
I was wanting
That's
to
right, I'm your
have-
god now.
So that's how, the codex and the implement are both brought up, and it is like a wave that comes over the village, and they all have a very similar reaction to Serra of like, holy fucking shit, this is huge. This is massive.
We haven't explained at all where we got them yet, right?
No.
Okay.
Serra didn't seem too interested in that. She seemed very much more interested that you have them here. But yeah, she says, "This is Zig. He can help fix those things.
So
Help make a key."
Is this something we can, while he's kind of looking them over, I know you mentioned kind of got caught up in the whirlwind here, but you said they were going to start from the beginning?
Yes. Can he look at the implement? We can talk about things. And then after we're done talking, he can take a look at you because you kind of are
Yes.
a piece. It is a piece of you now. I'm unsure.
Don't call me a piece.
I'll pull out the implement, and I'm just going to stay within line of sight of it.
Well, she's going to take you to a place to talk. She's just not going to talk out in the open. She's going to take you to your log
Can
cabin.
he come with while he looks at it?
His tools are in the square.
It's fine, and sulfur will pop out.
Okay. Yeah.
He's paranoid.
Very.
Okay. Silver pops out and Zig goes, "Whoa, okay.
It's just a
A
rat.
rat with a rat. Does that one talk?" He says. And it says, "Sure thing, boss."
Unfortunately.
And it's going to take flight, and it's just going to fly near him.
Okay. Wow, Jesus. Mortal, he wouldn't say Jesus.
Who is that?
No, he wouldn't say Scrot either. Yeah, he says, wow, okay. So she takes you to one of the cabins that's kind of in that, closer to that main circle area. Think just basic log cabin, just anything that would be made out of wood, has a metallic sheen to it, a steel look to it. It's one big room. There's no bed or anything. There's just like personal stuff. This one looks pretty plain and like it hasn't been used in a very long time. There's basically just a desk, a wood dresser that's probably not full of a whole lot.
A wood dresser?
I mean wood, but it looks metallic.
Oh.
Yeah, and there's no chairs in there, so she would just stand, or you guys can sit on the floor.
I just like lean up against the wall, yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. So I said I'd start at the beginning. First, I want to make clear what I need from you in exchange of, well, if there's other ways we can help, we would be happy to once our side of things are taken care of. But for the most part, I guess in exchange for this information, she says, unsure if there's more that you need.
We don't know if we need more because we don't know what we don't know.
Fair enough. Well, so for a while now, close to, we'll call it 17,301 hours ago, the agents of Grimm found us. That's about 2 years. After, like I said, many millions of years, this barrier had weakened.
Just wanted to say you said millions of years.
After
Just to
after
the audience
many
sake.
millions of hours, this barrier had weakened to the point that Grim could find us. The attacks at that point happened once or twice every 240 hours. It's a week. She wouldn't say that, just out of game. About 8,630 hours ago, the Night of Grim started showing up and the attacks got worse. And then about 722 hours ago, the attacks went from 3 to 4 times a week to close to every day. Bin, the third blade we had here, the third blade unit, designation blade, died 231-ish hours ago. It's gotten to the point where we're fighting a war of attrition that we're losing. We do not need rest in the same ways that mortals do, but we do easily get worn down when we have to fight to that capacity, and any of them that they slay, just more come in to fill their ranks. So, now that Grim has found us, we have basically 2 options. Find a way for Grim to not need to kill us and return us to the vault, or find a way for us to go into hiding that isn't here. Like I said, we can't leave without falling under the hum. So my hope is that you can take the key that will be made, go to the vault, and put a stop to the hum. I am unsure what that entails, other than I have not been there since the hum happened. So I'm unsure of the state of things. Like I said, something is clearly different, probably not safe by any means. If stopping the hum does not stop Grim from hunting us, it would at least allow us to leave and go into hiding. That is what I need.
Did you say at all when the hum started exactly?
That's kind of in the list of events. I was going to start at the beginning. It'll be in there. It's been a very long time. I assume it has not stopped since we went into hiding here. And as I said, that was millions upon millions upon millions of hours ago.
So Grim is an agent of them.
She nods.
Do you know what other divines and chosens are agents of them? Or is it all of them?
I do not mean to push. If this is not something you are wanting to do, that is okay. But I would like to know that before I divulge more information.
What could the possible consequences be?
Of stopping the hum?
Yes. I know it can't all just be only affecting those here. If you had to guess.
The consequences are unknown because I have not been outside this bubble in a very long time. So I am unsure. From what it seems like, the Four Lords have not made an appearance since they disappeared. So hopefully none, other than us being freed from the hum.
What do they do when they do appear?
I mean, they made everything. Well, we helped, but...
Is that why they may have wanted you all to kind of go away? Is you served your purpose to them?
If they wanted us to go away, we would have been gone.
Is this at all related to all the planes? I've heard the planes merging. Is that what it is?
They're less
Holes
merging
in
and more that
Holes are poking through?
the connections between Aelios and planes, and presumably all the planes to each other as well, are not stable or becoming very unstable.
Destabilized. All right. So is this at all related to the planes becoming destabilized?
I
Got it.
am unsure.
What are the names of the two? The chaos and order beings again?
It's-
Aeons and proteins.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about aeons and proteins? We can answer your question. This is just helpful to.
Yes.
Okay, they are in some sort of
Eternal conflict.
Have you ran into them here?
on Alios.
Yes.
Yes.
That is very bad.
I have one in my book.
That is
Oh yeah, we do have one.
very bad.
Contained, but yes.
That is how we first knew. I guess out of game quick. Did we discuss in front of her that Magnis and I could kill beings like that and have them
Yes.
stay? As far as the one example
not,
we
I said
have.
it.
not in any detail,
Yes.
but Renisir did call out for you to try to.
It's an
was
Aeon, right? Was the one that
Well,
Magnus.
I also
Yes.
I also explicitly told her we can.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A member of our, how we found that out was a member of our group killed an Aeon and it did not disappear.
Its corpse remained.
I did not want to draw unwanted ire. But if we are putting all our cards on the table, the two of you, she looks to Magnus and you, make me uncomfortable in a way that I haven't felt since in the presence of the four.
So can we say the term Iconauts
That was a
with
term,
this knowledge?
that was a term we coined.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you mean?
No, just because the Iconauts are
Yeah.
are
You just soul read their actual name.
no. Just that the Iconauts are our term for the four lores. I don't know if that was if we made it far
Well, are
enough
they the
away.
same?
We don't
That
know
we
if
know
they're
of.
one and the same yet.
Yeah.
And we can probably get to
But
that.
yeah, you can say Iconauts.
Okay.
The four
Okay.
lords might be middle management.
But yeah, so
So-
she did say that you and Magnus, she can't really put a finger on it other than just like that feeling you get when you're around something.
There's one, I think, one of the many things our group is concerned with in the outside world is that there is one like us, I point to myself and Magnus, who is seeking Androphen secrets and tech. To what end, we don't know. But using them for, apparently, in our opinion, evil purposes of some kind. And trying to find some sort of, as far as we know, secret hidden so deep that all of mortal kind probably didn't know it or couldn't speak of it. Maybe some of the knowledge that we're seeking now is what he's looking for. So that's why I ask of the consequences of if the hum were stopped or if things were done. I wouldn't want his journey to be made any easier, if that makes sense. I don't know if the hum would affect that. But someone who, if us just being here makes you uncomfortable and we're helping, he would make you vastly more uncomfortable because he would not be seeking to help you in any way.
To clarify, she says, I am not currently uncomfortable. It's just when you first called upon magic, it made me uncomfortable in the moment.
I will say we did talk to a protein directly, and he stated that these two were touched by them. That is what he said. They would not explain further than that. Does that mean that?
He could not explain further.
She looks to you like, were you? Because she doesn't know your
I don't
history
know
or anything.
Well, we don't know.
Okay.
We don't even know really
No
who
one has
they
been able-
are.
No one has been able to explain what, in the mortal world, we are called oracles.
Okay. Noted.
Mortals, typically mortals as far as I know, born when some kind of natural, divine, cosmic event, or all three at the same time happens. And then that power and essence and spirit is within us. And we don't draw on magic from a divine or from study or just from being around magical items or things. It comes from something that we don't know, which perhaps is what the protein was mentioning when it mentioned them. But because we can't speak of whoever they might be a different them than you have mentioned. But we're getting off the rails a bit here, but There's many things like this happening in the world outside of that, and as much as I think helping you in your plight is something that would be in the moment seems like a good thing to do, I'm also concerned for the butterfly effect perhaps it could have outside of this island.
Well, if the Protean and Aeons are here, you will need all of the help you can get, because that spells the end of Aelios.
I will say we also don't even know how to stop what is taking place here. So that is why I guess we're trying to get the full scope here, because to have, so, you know, before this we were dealing with our own personal problems, and then to have something on such a dimensional scale thrown onto us, we are basically like children fumbling in the dark at the moment.
I am unsure of the explicit details. I have long held the belief that we were kept around as a trail to be followed to get to these answers. I know not why, but my assumption is that if you're looking to stop what you say is happening, there is probably something in the vault that could be of use to you in some way.
How would you even get us there?
Yeah, how would we get to the vault?
You would need a key.
Well, if we say we get the key, we have the key, we made the key, how do we do we have to go there and then use it, or do we use the key to get there?
You would need to insert it into one of the master teleportation circles. They are, she would basically describe those stone raised circles, but with a triangular slot.
Okay, we know what that is.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, I think we could do that.
Full of those.
Sorry, just to kind of, this is bothering me. 17,000 hours, 301. 17,301 hours ago.
1,700.
If I do the quick math, how exactly long ago was that? Like, was that like 2 years on the dot? Was that?
It's around 2 years.
All right. Do I know where we were at that time?
Locali.
We were in Locali. Okay. I'm trying to figure out if there was an event.
The downtime was 3 years.
I'm just trying to figure out if there was an event that I know of that happened at that time that triggered Grimm's attack.
Because you're burning down all those places.
Well, my first thought was the message.
Not that you're aware of. No, that would happen before that. Probably like a good couple years before that. However, the night of Grimm showing up roughly matches around the time Varys went missing. That's
makes sense.
Pretty obvious. Why doesn't everyone just roll intelligence?
My strong suit.
Can I roll esoteric lore?
Diego +4 circumstance.
Can I use magic theory?
Nope.
Flip.
Just,
Orc lore.
No, just intelligence.
Damn, with a +0, 19.
21.
18.
20.
What'd you get?
19.
18?
21.
21. Eamon and Diego, which is very fitting, Diego. Around the time the attacks got worse is around the time Uchido went missing. What that means in detail, hard to tell, but it's hard to say they're not connected somehow.
And there's no other events that line up with the timetable that she gave us?
For which of the events?
Because it was the quickening of the attacks. It was when the night showed up.
Mm-hmm. And then when they got really bad.
Yeah. Okay.
No. Bin died like 10-ish days ago, but that doesn't... He just died.
Yeah.
Went back to the vault, so...
Would we see our friend with the designation Umbra, as far as we know, went back to the place one goes after one is vanquished? Would we see them again if we were to go?
Or are they changed?
I cannot confirm because there are too many unknowns, so it would feel wrong of me to tell you yes. My assumption, though, is yes.
He blew himself up in another plane. Does that change anything?
No.
Not planet.
We are...
yes, our plane.
I wouldn't say prone to, but we are more capable of self-destruction because normally we come back.
What?
So
Is it affect your memories at all?
if
Or
we
if you are
destruct?
returned?
No, it should not. But again, I have not been back since the hum took place.
Do you know if his soul might have been changed, if that would change it?
Possibly. How was it changed?
A Strigoi possessed him.
Vampire?
Yeah.
Undeath could change things.
Okay.
I have not known of an Androphin who has undergone the process of undeath, but it is a deep warping of the soul within them. So I'm not sure how that affects.
It is a little dicey since he kind of was able to blow himself up as one last act of free will, and then the Strigoi kind of let its grip loose a bit, so...
It's a brief moment of something.
Yes. That does complicate things. It makes my yes less confident.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just asking.
So, we would like to get some more answers.
Yes, so I will start at the beginning, as I promised.
Should we answer your question first if we're going to be doing that?
I thought you said yes.
I mean, I did, but
I
I guess I
also
don't
agree.
speak for
Telepathy is still
everybody.
active. Just letting you guys know.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess.
No.
I just know there's a moment of like, yes, we are doing this. But
Well, I mean, do we need to discuss further?
I said we know how to do it.
If you would like, I can I can leave if that is more comfortable.
there's just
If you give us a moment.
we have a lot of people outside of the island waiting for us on a ship that
Yeah, she'll
we
leave.
need to have something to do while we're gone.
She'll go check on Zig.
They need to be making money.
I'll ring a bell.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest here. I think up until this moment, we have not known the scope nor scale of what we are dealing with outside of just knowing that it could mean the end of all things. I think our only way to resolve this issue is to help the people who were there when this all happened. Even they don't know, but this is our best chance.
Yeah, your divine intervention thing where they said to keep going on the path, I feel like this is exactly the path we were on. And
It's a good point.
I
just wanted to give us an
I
opportunity
forgot you
for
were
a
here,
breath.
Magnis.
not to be the voice of dissent, but I do under the impression, which it seems like it, that these things are at the very least some level above the divines. I do wonder if directly stopping something that is named after one of them would not anger that individual.
Yes, but why?
That's what I was thinking.
The point that she made about leaving a trail behind, it makes me wonder if this isn't what was designed in some odd sense.
For the record, I'm not saying we don't do it. I just think it's something to really think about and be cautious about.
I don't disagree. It's a good point. However, we also aren't sure if they are the top of the top.
Yeah.
There could be those above them, and this could be a situation where Elisif did not intend for this. Elisif? Whatever.
I don't know if there's ever been a time where you've just nailed a name 100%.
Dude, it's usually Aaron that doesn't nail the name, and then Micah gets confused from it because they probably talk about it.
The other thing is
Elsif?
that it's
Elsif.
Elsif, yeah.
So no,
Elsif.
Elisif
the other thing
sounds
too is that it's
cooler.
almost always Renistyr. Like when Micah will bring something up.
That's perfect.
Yeah,
This
but yeah,
Renistyr is
continue,
a big
sorry.
idiot. But I mean, all we know is that there is them, the Iconauts. We don't necessarily know if that is the them. I can't say.
That they've been talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, from a personal standpoint, if you create an entire dimension and sort of let it fall to pieces, I don't agree with that at all. So if I piss them off, maybe take care of your realm better.
I want to spite the things that prevent me from talking.
And it seems like Tezetsios also disagrees with their treatment if he's pushing me in this direction, so I will follow that path.
Yeah, all that. He looks to you, Eamon Magnus. This does make me wonder how much of this Akatan knows.
This could be exactly what he's looking for.
He could have found it already.
I don't know. Yeah, he could have. But I don't know how
acting on that.
it would help him.
Could he be
It is.
trying to also prevent this? Could that be something that he found out?
Yeah,
I mean, he
don't
is the...
He does have time on his side. That would probably be a pretty critical piece to it.
He's all
Maybe
about,
he's just going about it in the worst way possible. Maybe this is his way of trying to approach the problem.
his whole thing is war. And I can't imagine how this, I don't know how this would help his cause. I think he's curious enough and he wants to know enough about himself, I suppose, that it'd be worth it for him to find out. But that's why it's so cautious of if we leave a trail of our own to follow into these secrets, which we have. We have a literal ship outside.
He wishes to gather you all, no?
I just want to cover our trail. So if two of us are going to the place where he's trying to go, that makes his job easier, not more difficult, I suppose. I'm not saying we don't. I'm just trying to put a little more weight and caution than there already is.
I understand your concerns. However,
I do think we should go. I just want to.
Unfortunately, when it comes down to it, if this comes close to a cataclysmic event, we may have to undergo every risk necessary to prevent it to happen.
Even he is just a small drop in a big pond. But
maybe also why he's trying to gather you all.
Magnis says, if it comes down to it, and there's a decision to be made between continuing down this path and stopping the Magin from following that path, I never really... I'll help, obviously. World ends, no one wins. However, if someone is needed to stop you from being followed, he just motions to all of you. That's kind of my whole thing.
I think you're best fit for that anyhow.
So
I think that is simultaneously something you would want and something that could help. So
it has been a long time since I have killed a Magin agent, and not to be that guy, but I do get itchy for it.
Another reason I wanted to discuss this is so that we could decide how and what to tell our crew.
I
don't even know how we
already
broached
laid
this topic.
some groundwork.
Yeah, but just in case the dangers of this island spill over to them, I don't need to. I'm okay with whatever we tell them. I just want them to be able to be safe.
Yeah,
and to be able to know what to do if shit goes sideways.
I don't know that safe is something we can offer anymore. I think at the very least,
they should at least know what the danger is.
Correct. They should at least be made aware of the dangers we are about to undertake, but also the importance of what we are doing. Because this has gone from a dead man's wish on studying things to now the threads of reality coming apart at the seams.
And what I mostly mean is, I say we give the option to them, as just we're talking now. They should also have the option to remain on the path or no, with full clarity. I just want them to have the option. I mean, I can't imagine who would if they know the weight and the importance and we fully communicate it, but they have the right to make an informed decision.
I don't really understand what are you saying we need to tell them?
They're getting involved now with things that are a much grander scale than they have been so far, which could involve more danger than there has been already, which there already has been a lot, and they've shown that they'll remain with us through a dragon fight, which means a lot, which is why I'm not worried about them leaving. It doesn't feel right to... I don't have to explain every little detail, but just a little more of we're dealing with divine level shit, not just monsters and pirates.
Right. It's gone from island hopping to possibly fucking around in the realm of those above gods.
I'm just confused because when we found out this information, we came to a decision as a group to not tell them.
Because we weren't doing anything about it yet.
No, we just were not telling them that the world was ending. We had no clear end goal other than just continuing on. Now we're have an actual task and an actual set objective outside of just learning what the androids are.
But we're not going to take them there, are we?
No, but the divines can clearly act anywhere they wish, whether we're there or not.
And then at that point, I mean, if we're worried about a divine smiting them, then I don't know if Gil can protect them from that. Like
I'm not saying they have the right to win the fight they're in. I just think it's like a basic being's right to know the danger they're in if possible.
I don't think there's any way any of us can fully prepare ourselves for this. We just don't know enough. But at the very least, we can have them steel themselves in whatever way possible over the trials to come.
It gets in the way of my sleep enough to know the danger we put them in, even if they do volunteer for it. And then I just feel better for them as much as they're capable of understanding what's happening.
Plus,
to at least
if
try
any of them,
to help them understand.
Like if Beulah wants to not be involved, I'm just an example. If she wants to go back to her parents and not go chasing after something to this scale, it seems fair enough at this point that some of them may not want to get involved in this.
Families and close ones, they might want to. I don't know. I would appreciate transparency to a point at least where I can make a relatively informed choice now that things are getting more real.
I guess I'm just confused because I thought this was the train of thought that I kind of had when we found out about the Iconauts and the dimensional tears, and we kind of knew we were following that path.
We knew we were continuing the research of Zenode, which may have something to do with it, but we didn't know how directly or how much we were going to actually be active in what was going on. At least
I'm going to be honest, as somebody who is the least equipped to understand most of this stuff. It is basically taken till this point for it to really sink in of what is happening and what we must do. So if I'm struggling being at the forefront, I'm just, again, I think now is the more proper time because we have more answers than before.
It wasn't so much of a never for me, it was a not yet because I don't know how or what the scope of this is yet.
There wasn't much benefit to telling them then because all we knew is that the world was ending and we were just continuing on with what we were doing.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, it's still the world is ending and we're just going to not be on the ship.
This unknown is so much more than going and investigating a lab on an island, though. It's a little bit more of a task than them waiting for us while we go into the volcano and back.
Well, I'm not even saying wait for us. I'm saying just tell them we have to go and we have to deal with something greater.
We don't know what...
I just don't know how many details we necessarily need to get into.
I guess I don't even know if we're abandoning the ship necessarily. I don't know if how the teleportation works, if it projects a larger teleportation or if it's like every other circle we've walked
onto. If we're scared
onto.
to take them onto a dinosaur island, I'd be scared to take them to the...
I mean, we know
place.
where the teleportation is and how big it is.
Yeah.
We've all seen it.
I guess. Yeah.
I guess we don't know how it works, though, but...
My guess is exactly like any other teleportation circle.
Perhaps.
I mean, you guys did inspect it.
I'm not saying we have to tell them where we're going exactly. I just think we haven't been as forthcoming about the gravity.
Well,
I think we could be now.
Okay.
Even if we made that decision once, I think...
But then what do they do with that information?
Whatever they choose to do with it.
But like what is the possibility? I mean,
I guess no.
They know if they know the world. If they know the world is ending, they can go home.
They also could just not believe us or take their word for it. Or
I guess we're not bringing.
We also don't know the world's ending. We just know there's tears in between the planes. So that's a bit. I feel like
we do know the world ends if that keeps happening, though.
Based on what the Protean said, yeah, it's kind of the end of it.
So it's the beginning of the end of the world, at least.
I guess I understand where you're coming from, Diego. If we're not bringing them, we're kind of just like, here to something terrifying. Bye.
Yeah, I mean,
they're adults, though. They're allowed to.
I mean, they're adults,
hard information.
Sure, but
they're
I don't
just
know.
going
Adults
to sit
get
on
scared.
Their hands. Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes they just don't need to know that the world's going to end. Maybe
it just feels like we've already played too much with power, like creating life and things. I think we're taking that a step further by deciding what people.
We
need
didn't
to know
play with.
I think that's a step backwards for sure.
Or it just seems like this all My gripe with you, I point to Phosphorus and Diego in the beginning, was I was asking, why are you going after this information? You don't need to know it. You can just live your life without knowing the information. It's okay not to know things.
But we're crazy.
And they were actively
So
seeking
was our
it.
crew, my friend.
They wanted a paycheck, and because they got booted out of their clan. There's various reasons outside of
and I
chasing
think
down
there's
this.
many more reasons to know why your life in existence may be
Back in
threatened.
Wakuzana, when we faced the Surgoi, we didn't go around just immediately telling everybody because there would have been mass panic.
Actually,
Granted, there would have
we
been-
did
Well,
tell
just-
everybody, and there was mass panic.
Yes, but
The
that was
city
deliberate
collapsed.
mass panic at that point.
That was as a weapon, but we didn't do that right off the get-go, because what point is there telling the random common citizen about their leader being a psychopath?
I just know when you decide for other people that you know what's best. When we agree that we have no idea what actually this is,
This
feels like a
less
form
like
of
know what's best and what good does it do.
the information. This is what I was saying. You had no idea what good or bad information you were looking for would do, and yet you wanted it.
I don't really understand. I don't
Your
get
whole
the
thing is finding
I
information.
don't get the connection between that.
Yeah, it's two different scales. They
People
were
have
personal.
a right to information, I think.
Correct. That's
Even
why.
if it-
That's why we
even
did
if
the
it-
ritual.
Even if it on paper might not do them any good that you can foresee.
What, are they going to go on their own expedition?
No, I don't see how. What harm will it do other than giving them the same fright that we're experiencing? And we're still here. We're not falling apart. We're not tearing our hair out.
Yeah,
and
but we're stronger.
losing our
We're
minds.
also active. We're the
We've-
ones trying to solve the problem. They aren't. They just go
we've
back to their
fought
family.
multiple dragons at this point, and
So did the crew.
and no,
They tried.
I will
They didn't
say,
run.
if I've learned anything, is that you can be guilty by association. That's kind of why I worked alone. Anyone affiliated with me would have been targeted.
and that's why I also think that less
Keeping them in the
knowledge
dark.
that they actually have is probably better for them.
Yeah, but
My-
it can give them a chance to disassociate from us if they'd like to not be involved.
The
and
fact
my
that they
thought
know
is,
it all.
I mean, they're your guys' crew. They have been for many months. If
Mhm.
something is aware you guys are going after it, I can't imagine the crew wouldn't be the first thing that is used against you.
Yeah, and then so we tell them the information, so now they have the information. So if they go into hiding, they will still be found. I mean, like,
We don't have to tell them everything. Like I said, just the gravity that there's a situation that could be world altering, much bigger than just your physical danger for you and the ship. This is very different than anything we've faced before. You may, as you always have, you have the option now, especially, I will not take it personally if you decide to leave, because this could very easily spill over into
I guess I assumed we were just going to separate from them at this point.
Once
we
we're
were
going
going
to
to tell
teleport,
them
yeah.
to go.
We have to get to the teleporter, but
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of steps in between then and now, but I'm saying, like, it'd be one thing if we were bringing them along. That is where my train of thought was going, but then I just realized there's literally no reason we would be bringing them to this place that I can't say. So, that is why I don't see the purpose of telling them, because they're not coming with. So then we are basically disappearing off the face of the earth and just leaving them with the unknown if tomorrow will happen.
That's always the case, I suppose.
It's a little
I
different when
agree
it's
with
concrete.
telling them-
True.
Telling them we're leaving and telling them it's a bigger thing and we have to leave.
Some of them might also try to come with us, which I don't want them to.
Yeah, but they wouldn't be able to.
can I just say, we could probably continue this discussion at a later date. Magnus just says,
I think we have time now.
yeah, I kind of want to know.
Yeah, there is a lot of other things in between then and now.
Yeah.
So this isn't.
And-
We're not even near the crew. This is something we can decide later.
I also don't think this will happen, but there is a chance that something we learn now changes how
True.
we feel about things.
We don't even have the full picture ourselves.
What do you think, Phosphorus?
I want to know.
Well, okay, yeah, we'll get off the crew topic.
Okay. I just want you to know how I feel about it, and you can decide to do whatever you'd like. But I hope they get the same informed choice that I do, and that we all do. I think the next thing would be like we discussed, because I wanted to be like our last discussion before we say yes, for sure, for sure.
Oh yeah, you guys.
So should
none
we
of you,
tell her
you-
yes for sure?
Yeah,
for
you
sure.
guys didn't even talk
Yeah,
about
we have not talked about that.
that yet. Go for it.
Yeah, I think we should.
I'm all for it.
Take
Yeah, I want to go there.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some cool shit.
Like an old friend.
Look, I was deliberately not saying anything about that and not even trying to talk about that because I don't want to get my hopes up and just have them shut down. So we're going to just internalize all that, shove it deep down, not talk about it anymore, and we're going to move on. Sound good?
I am pretty good at that, but I'm
Break.
not going to do that.
So the just to clarify, the agreement is yeah.
So we are doing it.
I think
Okay.
so.
Eamon, you're the one that doesn't like to do big, scary things,
Yeah.
even
No.
though you're weirdly the most equipped to do the big, scary things.
Yeah.
And might have caused some of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Magnus?
Yes, I would love to
Yeah.
do this.
Like I said,
Oh, all right.
Are you
Okay.
finally ready to absolve for the weight of sin on both of your shoulders?
no. He was
Okay.
just gonna bring up that it doesn't
That
matter.
he's paranoid,
So, no.
That
That he's
hates the Magin,
yeah, pretty much.
fiery.
Yep.
Okay. Those are his three things.
That's
Paranoid,
not
hates
true.
the Magin, and fiery.
That's
Quite-
not true.
Quiet fish.
And we forget he's there.
So someone gets Sarah,
Yeah.
I assume.
I'll drop the bell.
Yeah. She can come back in. She just kind of.
Well, we decided yes.
We will help.
We're going to do the thing with the
Okay.
vault.
Yeah.
Thank
I'm
you.
with the not vault. I didn't say that. I say with the meh. Oh,
Thank-
sorry. I tried to say the thing.
She says, okay, I will start at the beginning. As I said, the Terra and Umbra designations were not around before Eleos. So this is all things I have learned about our history. Serra has shared some truly world-shattering information, and it seems they've only hit the tip of the iceberg. What further knowledge will Serra share with the group? Why is Grimm going after the Androphin in the barrier? Who or what are the four lords? All of this and more, next time on Dying 5.
If you enjoyed today's episode, consider leaving us a review on whatever platform you listen on. We'd love to hear your feedback. And if anyone in your life just can't get enough tabletop RPG action, send them our way. If tabletops have taught me anything, it's that good stories become great ones when you have some folks to share them with. And as always, thanks for listening.